Day 3 of WindUp, guys. Had a lot of fun, met a lot of vendors, took some footage, wasn't able to get a whole lot. Again, I'm coming here as an enthusiast myself, so I wanted to really soak in a lot of the vendors that came out here, put a lot of hard sweat and blood and tears into setting up their booths. But I had a good conversation on a lot of brands, a lot of new brands to this show for their first year, including Erebus. We all know him. I actually went to a watch event and got a Spinnaker as a raffle. So I'm having a lot of fun and I'm excited to see next year's actual presentation. I'm sure it's gonna be even bigger than it was for this year. We're seeing a lot of enthusiasts coming in and out. I mean, I would have to say it's probably around 1,000 people every single hour coming in and out. From Friday all the way up into Sunday today, there's people constantly coming in. So super excited, a lot of good vibes, a lot of good conversations with the people that have been here, and I'm excited to see what comes for next year. So these are one of the brands that I'm really excited to talk about here at the WindUp Fair. They achieved something with the second hands floating around the dial. It's like that for most of their models, but it's really hard to guess exactly how they do it, but there's actually a second crystal underneath the main one that is spinning around to achieve that floatless kind of thing to it. So this is a company I definitely would recommend. I'm not even gonna attempt to say their name. I think it's called Beaublue. I think that's the name of it. My wife is saying no, so it's not. But we'll get a shot of what it looks like, so like that you guys can check it out. But really awesome. And I think they're also gonna be a part of the Olympics as well. So this is a really cool watch. If you're at the fair, check them out. All right, guys, so we're here in front of Ganance at the show. Now, this device is actually really, really cool. It actually slips right underneath your watch, just like that, suction cups underneath it, and then your actual timepiece acts as a smart device. You can stop and play music when you have this device under your watch. So for those of you that want to fuse the smartwatch technology into any timepiece that you want to wear, these guys are actually ahead of that to combine the two and make it work for you. To make a pit stop at Jack Mason. This is actually the second release for their Dr. Pepper. I missed out, unfortunately, on the first one, which was a black dial, but that was a limited edition, and the one that they just came up with is a white dial, which I actually liked better to be paired for that kind of look. And this is a piece that I'm looking to put in my collection sometime in the future, and I'm really happy that it is not going to be a limited run. So this is definitely a piece that you're going to want to see if you're here at the show, along with their Canto. That's also another watch that has been making a lot of headway in the watch world. They did a phenomenal job making it be a Swiss movement inside, perfect finishing throughout, a lot of attention to the indices, a lot of attention to all of the details into the dial, color-coded date wheel, of course, and the bracelet is phenomenal. So that's another watch that you guys are probably familiar with, but definitely worth getting your hands on and seeing it in the metal. Yeah. And then of course, we have their Strato Timer, which made waves tremendously for the brand since they came out. Love the fact that it's on a Jubilee bracelet. If you're looking for that diver kind of look, that's absolutely stellar. It's got that new kind of look to it. A lot of ceramic, a lot of gloss look to it. Very fresh and very handsome for a young man. Or woman. Here is Brew, one of the newest additions for Brew. They just came out with a dial like this. Now, I was super excited to see this dial because I was looking for like that Seiko Pogue type of look. And aside from their classical one that they came up with that's very, very popular, I think that this is a really nice addition that they came up with. And I'm excited to get my hands on it and see it in person. We have Spinnaker here, which is super popular in the enthusiast and in the watch community for good reason. A lot of affordability, you're getting a lot of value for what you're buying here, and they have a lot of fun watches with the Ghost theme, the 50 Fathoms that you know and love, but this one in particular is one that has my eye. Love the colorways that are in this GMT watch, and I'm going to try to get my hands on the Ghost dial as well. So there you go on the loom. Very, very nice. And then I'm also going to show you guys another watch. Here's a 50 Fathoms inspired watch by it, very fun. All the ghosts on the bezel here. Very, very nice. Always have some Easter eggs on there. Now there isn't an actual date wheel on here. There's actually an Easter egg of that 31 there just for a little bit of fun and a little bit of play on. But the thing is chock full of loom, and we can see that when we cover it up a little bit. We also have the back of it loomed on that Ghost. A little bit of fun here on the rotor. Just a very, very fun watch. All right, guys, so we're here at the show. I met these phenomenal people here. Edward, the watch is absolutely phenomenal, and you guys have to really get your hands on it to appreciate it. So the one thing that really impressed me with this watch is it actually has an internal rotating bezel, and when you do the spin on it, it actually clicks like it does on a conventional exterior one, if you will. So these guys are actually fairly new to the market, going on 7 months, but phenomenal personality, awesome watch. It definitely separates itself within the show. We have a large range of colorways that they have on the table for you to see. The straps are integrated, very supple. Guys, if you don't know about them, check them out. They're definitely the brand to watch. So we're here at Erebus for their first year at the Watch and Wine Fair, and this is a watch that actually really impressed me. I love the color, I love the dial weight. Let's try to get it in the light. I mean, you really got to appreciate the details on this dial, and I think that this would be the watch for me if I was going to make a choice for the Erebus collection. We have a Miyota movement in here. It's perfect proportions. The dial is really finished very well. You have the clasp that has the extending on it, on the fly adjustment. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful watch, and we're seeing watches get smaller, and I think that this carries suit. So this is a watch to look out for, and see it in the metal if you get the chance. All right, everybody, we're here at the William Wood table. This is actually one of the newer watches in the collection. Had a great conversation with him. I always love William Wood. Their watches are very, very distinctive. A lot of them use repurposed fire hose and repurposed metals into their watches. It's very exciting to know the story of each individual watches that they come across. And another added thing that I like to say is William Wood has been part of the community in bringing around watches, having them go around to different firehouses, creating even more of a story, and then after the fact, bringing them off to a charity for them to be raffled off and going to a great charity cause. So if you have some time, stop by the show and see them over at the WindUp Fair. We're over here at Shinola where we're speaking to Greg and we're speaking to Phil, sorry. And we had a couple of questions from a viewer. He's actually been a long time client of you guys, buying your watches since the Runwell, Chronos. So he was curious to know, how are you continuing to innovate and draw in the enthusiasts as more great micro brands are starting to emerge? Yeah. I'm sure you guys see a lot of that happening. So how does Shinola continue to push ahead in general aspects for the company?
Yeah, well, for sure, internally, one way we're pushing ahead is always taking steps forward in our factory. Okay. So Jamie's here with us today from the factory. She runs the factory, and so the early days was, I'd say the first 5 or 6 years is figuring out how to run a company at scale, assembling quartz movements, doing it with accuracy and precision. So since then, I think 2018, we launched our first automatic dive watch, and since then, we've just seen some pretty good demand for us to keep taking those steps. So one big step we took was the Speedway, our first automatic chronograph. So there's a lot of kind of watchmaking innovations, and then but also I think like cultural innovations and people that we can work with and to make it fresh and maybe about more than just watchmaking.
Yeah, and I think from the brand point of view too, it's like coming to places like WindUp, right? It's important for us, you know, as a brand to be here, right? Engage with you, meet you.
Absolutely, yeah, this is what it's all about.
It's been a crazy 48 hours, and you know, we flew in from Detroit. We were here Tuesday night, Wednesday night, setting up the booth. But I think just getting involved in the community, and like, you don't get to meet a watch designer every single day. You don't get to meet a watchmaker. You don't get to meet these people. And the fact that Warner Wine does such a great job of bringing the community together, it's important for us to be to places like these and just have these conversations. That's how we push it forward. We do it together, and it's through content, it's through these meetups, it's through this culture, and you know, you can see here just like how many people are here. It's like, these are the things that are important. So on the watch side, of course, we want to make beautiful watches that people love. But on the brand side, it's how do you create moments and memories with the brand that you can associate, you know, through product, through experiences. So
yeah, absolutely, that's well said. And one of the things that really excited me from our short conversation already is that you guys are heavily focused on manufacturing bringing those movements being made over here in the US. That's really nice to hear and really exciting. And I'm really grateful for you guys for being a big host for this show altogether, right? Like you said, if we didn't have the people, it would just be trinkets, right? So it's all about the people behind it. It's all about the innovation. It's all about the manufacturing and everything else. So thank you guys so much for coming in and answering the questions and just hosting it in general.
Awesome.
All right, guys?
Appreciate you.
Yeah, building community with us.
Yeah, and if you're ever in Detroit, hit us up, Instagram, let us know. We'd love to show you around the factory, give you a little tour. So
Absolutely, I'm going to take you up on that.
hey, we love when people come through.
I'm going up against my man Titus right here, a professional watchmaker. Titus, how are you feeling right now? Are you distracted? Are you feeling a little nervous that you might be beaten by a regular Joe Schmo off the street and gonna get it? Titus, what's your favorite color? Black? Oh, okay. What's your favorite TV show? Okay, cool. So this is actually working. Let me continue to distract him. So Titus is starting to shake now, as you guys can see on camera. He's getting a little nervous because he actually might get beat out by a regular Joe Schmo. Oh, wow. No, I'm not going. I'm not going.
29 seconds.
I'm not. You got the second hand on too?
Yeah, he got.
No, I'm not going, bro. I'm not gonna go. No way.
You want to try?
That dial will be all scratched up. The hands will be bent. There's no way, bro. 29 seconds. I'll give you the win, bro. I'll take a knee. Second hand still don't run. Oh, you good? So we're over by Formex. You guys already know who they are. They need no introduction. I actually just went up to the table and grabbed the timepiece that really caught my eye. This green dial weight with the green bezel is absolutely phenomenal. But at the end of the day, I probably could grab any watch from their table and it's going to be amazing. I'm not sure what is the brand new release for them just yet. I didn't get to talk to them, but I got to get it when I can. And they're known for a lot of their innovation in their bracelets, in their watches. And I just wanted to showcase at least one of their watches up close for you guys before it gets crowded. I just talked to Formex. He just let me know about this dial. This is probably the most exciting piece from them that I am excited about. This dial is only made from a precious stone, and the only people that make it is Rolex and Formex at this point in time. Another nice thing about the watch is the suspension system in it. Now that's going to give you a little bit of the resistance from the band being transferred instead into the case. It is absolutely phenomenal. Of course it's Formex, so it's well finished, and it's going to be Swiss made. Beautiful watch. Yeah, you could just take B-roll and then I could just talk into it, you know what I mean? All right, guys, so I'm here at the out of order table. Had a fantastic talk with the owner. I actually put them on to WatchCrunch because I've seen a lot of their watches being shown on your daily wrist from there. Now, they do things with the watches where they actually intentionally patina their watches, and they have very interesting dials with the colorways, doing it matched for the bezel to the dial, having a lot of stylistic into it. These guys are actually really great, really phenomenal. Again, I see them a lot in the community, so I definitely wanted to come by the table, show off some of their watches. So we saw this at the Philly show, Stohlman. Fantastic vintage inspiration. My man Eugene does a phenomenal job with these watches. He puts a lot of great components within it. What I like about the watch the most is that when you're looking for that vintage look, oftentimes the watches that have this kind of style of case is going to be too small. So he's actually enlarged that. He spends a lot of times on the dials of his watches, making each one very unique and very limited. So if you guys are interested in that kind of look and great watchmaking, take a look at Stohlman and talk to my man Eugene. Actually, he just produced, he made 2 different dial weights for this. This is actually the woman's size watch. As you saw from the first one, it's a lot larger in size. But he also enlarged this for the women, but still keeping it very small. Mother of pearl on both, on either a dark colorway or a lighter colorway. And Eugene actually does a lot of watchmaking for other independent brands as well. So you could really rely on his expertise in creating these watches. So here's a watch by Isotope. It's probably the most interesting watch after having a quick conversation with them. It's got a lot of mirror effect to the dial, something I haven't seen before, still giving you that minimalistic feel, but with a lot of interesting features. Now, on the case itself, a lot of people would be nervous because there's a lot of polishing on there, but in fact, they actually put a hardening coating for the stainless steel, so like that you're not dealing with a whole bunch of scratches. But absolutely a unique piece. I'm actually impressed with a lot of the pieces that they have, and it was an absolute pleasure to talk with them. You wanna?
Yeah, I mean, you got it, man.
Yeah, you already on, guys. Met a really big fan, Thelonious Monk. Always on the chat, always a great supporter. Watched even my most recent stuff. We're in front of Christopher Ward, my favorite watch. As you guys know, this is one of my grails. Thelonious, what are your thoughts of the show in general? What are your thoughts being in front of Christopher Ward?
If you're not here and you're in the watches, then I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing. That's what I think about the show. In terms of the watch, I mean, that watch won how many awards?
Oh man,
the watch speaks for itself. Look at it.
You're absolutely right, man. And here's
look at this. This is the Dragonfly blue one.
Colorway's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I think it's a show exclusive.
Okay. Very nice colorway. Guys, here's the deal. If anybody else in the big box brands made this kind of complication for this watch, we all know we would be talking about tens of thousands of dollars. So the fact that Christopher Ward is very transparent with their 3 times the price in their watches and giving us this kind of innovation in the watches is absolutely fantastic. And I'm absolutely in love with the company for their actual values in the watches altogether. And Mike is a fantastic guy. I was here yesterday and the guy's like, he's like at a barbecue and serving up patties. He was doing the little bell chime for me, talking to multiple customers. So the brand is fantastic from the watches to the representatives all together.
Give him a tag. Give him a tag.
So this is one of the first things that you see coming into the event. You pass by Oris on the second floor coming in, but I think this is really nice display for G-Shock. There's a lot of different individual cases for them. They've done a phenomenal job just showing that kind of display. We're gonna do a pan around and we'll do some B-roll of that so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. There are a lot of people walking through, like I said before, when we first introduced the show, constantly coming in and out. It's awesome, it's a great vibe. A lot of people are smiling, all the vendors are happy. So I hope you guys got to enjoy that kind of footage and a whole bunch of content creators making the videos. Guys, we're in front of Briston now. I actually stopped by them yesterday. Today's actually the last day, but I was really excited for their cushion style, and actually the material that they use on the cases is much like on the glasses on your frames. And I think they have a lot of exciting colors, a lot of exciting dials. So I hope you guys were able to come and check them out. If not, definitely see their watches online. They have a lot of interesting styles, and I think that they separate themselves a little bit more than the other people here at the vendors. So check them out if you guys get a chance. Let's get a close up on the watch. And that's just one of their styles that you can check out.
So this is the Milgraph. We launched this at Geneva Watch Days. It is a titanium grade 5 LGP 121 movement, La Jouperet. It's actually done for the Norwegian Special Forces. It's the 3rd edition that we've ever done for them. Originally, the crown was on the other side, but after a while, we were getting reports of getting friction on the wrist and a couple of injuries. So we've turned it into a lefty to actually be worn on the same wrist. And by doing that, you actually have minimum friction on the actual wrist itself. So when you're active, trailing, disappearing in the jungle for 3 months, no more issues.
Functional. Very
functional.
Yeah, and also it gives a little bit of a difference because everybody's got the crown on one side, so this is also nice to have a left.
Exactly. And it's been really well received. In 6 weeks, we've already sold out. So it's a positive problem. And the neat little aspect of it is, I don't know if you see on the bezel, you have little grooves so that they don't have to take their gloves off to spin round the actual thing to be on time and functional again, which is entirely what the brand is all about. We're a custom professional watch brand, so everything that we do, being the squadron watches down here, one for the US Space Force, the other one for the Canadian smoke jumpers. We've got the ones for the Hercules helicopter pilots with the green here, and then this one is done for the French Marine Corps, the Nageurs de Combat. And the fun fact about this one is that Omega, Tudor and Blancpain used to do a watch for this specific squadron.
Okay.
But what they were looking for is to really get involved in the design of the watch. So that's why they asked for a little red dot at 7, for it to be the same color as their logo. They also have their logo engraved on the back of the watch, and they wanted waves because it's, well, connected to the sea, being it's a diver's watch. And the most interesting timepiece actually is this one for us. So this is the field testing unit. We call it the field testing unit, so because when people want to start a project with us, we'll send them this watch. They'll try it on for 6 months. Based off that, we'll get the watch back. We'll listen to their feedback of how comfortable it was. We'll also look at the scratch marks and bruises that the watch got. And we always say you start with a watch like this, and you finish with an end product like that. So a lot of our DNA actually comes from this original watch. and this is actually our best seller.
Very nice, very nice. I like how you guys put it out there, let them test the watches, get the feedback. I mean, that's really what it's all about. Just get people's feedback and see what the people want and need for their needs of the watch itself.
Totally. At the end of the day, you're the customer, so you got to be the happy guy.
There you go. So guys, Micromilspec is at the show, and they have phenomenal watches. You heard a little bit about how they do and conduct their lines for it, so I hope you guys caught it. If you were out here, thank you so much. I appreciate it for the time, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Guys, I'm here over by Nomadic, checking out the table. You guys heard a lot from the collaborations that I've done with Trap Vision 3D. He does a lot of showings of the watch that he got. This is actually a different iteration from the color that he has. He has a green style one. I'm absolutely in love with this root beer. It has a lot of history from the Titanic inspiration. The rotors are very, very nice, designed on the back. It's just very well built. It has that very modern type of look to it. And I want to say that this is possibly my favorite watch from the Nomadic table. I just met them. They have their watchmaker here on site, so you can ask all the technical questions. They have a lifetime guarantee on these watches, so long as you're going ahead and you're having them serviced regularly, which they're actually using Maryland as their servicing department. My man Eugene out there does a phenomenal job. He covers a lot of brands for their servicing. So I hope you guys were able to check this out if you were at the Watch and One. But if not, check out their watches online. They're absolutely phenomenal. Guys, we're over by Studio Underdog, a fantastic brand that I think everybody at this point pretty much knows. And if, just in case you don't know, if you come to the events, you get a QR code where you can make a purchase of an Insight watch only. He's done a phenomenal job with collaborations with Moser. He's got a hit the ground running from the watermelon version. And it's just a funky chicken. It's just a very fun watch, but it's also very technical and very well made from mostly the seagull movements. So this is the actual pizza watch that I'd probably go with. It's the pineapple one. Very, very fun watches from Studio Underdog. I'm actually really excited to see some of the releases that they're gonna come out with moving forward. I think Richard has done a phenomenal job with continuing making limited editions sometimes, but also making accessible to a lot of his watches that are completely fun. So, of course, if you're coming to one of the events and you want to get a chance to take a look at their watches, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of people always around his booth. So you're gonna have to wait and you're gonna have to sneak in, but it's definitely worth it. Guys, I'm here over by the Vaer table. They're actually doing a poll on what they think the enthusiasts wanna see for their next release. And check out the poll that they have online. I think, in my opinion, this is gonna be the winner. There are a couple of very cool options, but having this nice, cool orange dial-way and to the chronograph of this vintage style case, I think is really nice to showcase. So please, participate in the polls of what you think should be the next watch for Vaer, and I really think that this is going to be the winner. So check it out if you get the chance. So this is one of the most interesting watches that I've seen at WindUp as well. This is actually a jump hour in a different kind of way. So as you twirl this hand down, it's actually going to jump back up to the top. So take a look at this, and then watch it's going to jump right up to the top. Boom. That's the first time that I've seen a kind of jump hour like that. It was very, very interesting. If you guys get a chance, check them out. You're gonna wanna see this watch. So guys, I'm in front of Venezianico now, and I actually love this company very much. They are really becoming the company of dials, and they're making a strong headway with a lot of different iterations. This one in particular happens to be my favorite because it is a gold, actual gold inside of this dial. A lot of their dials are actually also works of art. This is another example of it. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of detail in it. And I actually own a Venezianico myself. This is the Aventurine, Rendendore Aventurina. And it was a 35th birthday from my wife, and I absolutely love it. It got a lot of attention at the show today. And I think that all of their watches are gonna get a lot of attention for their dials. But another thing I want to talk about is their customer service while I have you, because they actually were very, very good in handling the customer service with my wife with getting this watch as a birth gift. So I want to give them a little attention as far as it goes. And you have to check out their deep black dial way to it. Absolutely beautiful watch. So if you have a chance to see them live, I recommend you do so. I want to give a special shout out to my guys over at WatchCrunch. They have built an absolute phenomenal community of watch enthusiasts and hosted an event after party after the show for the Watch and Wind Up Fair that included the names of Jack Mason, Vaer, who was giving away a watch, Tom from Clements, and Spinnaker, who was also giving away a watch that I happened to win. And I also participated in the giveaways.
And our very own Mr. Santana has built a watch. Yeah, anyway, love that you guys are here. Love that you're on WatchCrunch. Tell everybody about it. We have some great features coming out soon. Things that you've been asking about, we listen.
But we all walked away as winners at the end of the day because Max, the co-founder of WatchCrunch, actually gave everyone one of his Anachronist straps to everybody who participated and showed up to the event. But the real win is actually meeting all of you guys and interacting with you guys in person after communicating over WatchCrunch for so many months. And what was extra special is I got to meet somebody who actually recognized me by voice from watching my videos on YouTube for the first time. Shout out to my man Dalton, who was so kind enough to buy me a drink. My man, I still owe you a drink. Don't think you're getting away from it. But it was an absolute pleasure to be able to chat up with you. I really do appreciate your support, and I hope that I'm able to continue to create content that you enjoy. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up the Wind Up Fair. I had an absolute phenomenal time. It's been 3 days that we've been shooting here. I tried to get as much content as I could. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the content and interactions that I had. And I also like to try to select some of the watches that really impressed me from the show. There was just so much going on and so limited time to really soak in everything. But I did the best that I can, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of that footage that we have coming out for that. And I'm excited to see what next year brings, because it's only getting bigger and bigger each year. And even with it being maybe 2 to 3x from last year, we could see that everything was filled out from the beginning to the end. We're at that last call now, and it's still pretty much full. So I'm very excited to see this watch industry grow and moving forward. So until the next, guys, I'll see you later.